Now on Fox 17, the Arctic blast is here on a day you'll probably remember for years to come. A night West Michigan's wind chills sink to at least 30 to 40 degrees below zero in some spots. Potentially deadly temperatures that we haven't seen in these parts for years.
And tonight, Fox 17 News is in the coldest part of West Michigan, Coldwater. The community in Branch County living up to its name tonight as the Arctic winds plunge the wind chill to 50 below zero. And get this, the entire Fox 17 viewing area is now 30 degrees colder than it is tonight in Alaska and northwestern Canada.
On top of the Arctic temperatures, blowing snow is making travel treacherous all across West Michigan, something we are watching carefully through our cameras on board the Fox 17 mobile weather tracker.
We're also staked out at one of the windiest locations in all of West Michigan, the Lake Michigan shoreline. Our crew is bunkered down in the city of South Haven as they experience 30 to 40 mile-per-hour gusts, churning up more lake-effect snow.
In Kalamazoo, the Public Safety Department has warned residents to travel only if absolutely necessary. The city shut down all of its essential offices today because it's just too dangerous for people to be outside. Road
crews in Kent County are making progress, keeping downtown Grand Rapids freeways plowed. It's the side streets that are still problematic tonight, forcing West Michigan's largest school district, Grand Rapids Public, to remain closed again tomorrow. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Christian Frank on another busy night of news.
And I'm Janice Allen as we begin 2 hours of live team weather coverage. Schools are already shutting down for tomorrow. Those are running at the bottom of your screen.
Let's get right to our 5 o'clock headlines. Crashes shut down 2 major highways today. Westbound I-196 near Zeeland in Ottawa County, where slide-offs and fender benders litter the road. The other in Oceana County. US 31 near Shelby was shut down because of a major crash there. Travel restrictions are also in effect for St. Joseph County, where they're seeing a lot of blowing snow right now. More on that in just a moment. Also, if you need to drive to Chicago, it is probably not going to happen again tonight. That's because I-94 is still closed between Michigan City, Indiana and East Chicago, a 40-mile stretch. It's still not clear when it will reopen. It's been closed since late last night.
We are dedicated to bringing you this developing story, bringing it home for you to help keep your family safe. We've strategically placed our crews in key locations all across the area. From our team of meteorologists here at Fox 17 to teams dotting the lake shore and through Kalamazoo and Battle Creek, we have it all covered for you tonight. But first, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Rick Mecklenburg, who is tracking these record-setting temperatures. Rick?
It is a good old-fashioned Michigan winter, to be sure. Not only do we have cold temperatures and strong winds, also some lake effect snow. Let me show you the warnings and advisories that are out through tomorrow. All of us under a wind chill warning. These counties in pink under a winter storm warning. That's until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and winter weather advisories in effect. Let's talk about the cold temperatures first. This is a look at actual air temperatures out there. We're down to 1 below zero in Grand Rapids and Ionia. It's 5 below in Fremont, but look down to the south away from Lake Michigan's influence. We're down to 8 below on the thermometer currently in Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. It's down to 12 below currently in Coldwater, and we'll have a live report from Coldwater coming up in just a few seconds. Take a look at these winds too. They are howling out there from the west and southwest between 15 and 25 miles per hour sustained with some higher gusts. In fact, we're gusting to 30 miles per hour in South Haven, nearly 40 mile per hour wind gust right now in Battle Creek. That's creating some issues with blowing snow. It's also creating these wind chills. Look at this. It feels like 20 below zero in Grand Rapids. 32 below is our wind chill in Kalamazoo, and down in Coldwater, it's almost 40 degrees below zero wind chill temperature, and that cold air blowing across a relatively warm lake continuing to feed the lake effect snow machine. You can see that here on live Fox 17 radar. Most of the snow is along and south of I-96. We're not seeing anything terribly heavy at this point, but because the winds are so strong, we're seeing a lot of issues with near whiteout conditions. You can see a little bit of snow along Lake Michigan Drive between Grand Rapids and Allendale, also along I-96 up by Nunica and Fruitport. As we head into Allegan County, it's a little bit heavier here, especially along M40 right between Allegan and Holland. Hamilton's right here. Looks like you're getting some pretty heavy snow. Also Fenville as well. Some of that snow extends into Berry County as well, but off to the south we're not seeing much, if any, in the way of snow. Just a little bit of snow along M43 right now in Van Buren County. It does look like most of Kalamazoo, Calhoun, Branch, and St. Joseph County are free of snow at this point. You can see Coldwater right here. Lots of snow down there. Over 18 inches inches, but you'll notice it's sunny there now, and that's going to set the stage for a brutally cold night. Let's continue our team coverage now. Fox 17's Darren Cunningham is live in Coldwater. Darren?
That's right, Rick. 12 below, I can believe it. And Coldwater, I'm in downtown Coldwater. This is another one of those places that has declared a snow emergency. I will explain or talk about that in just a minute. But you can't be in Coldwater without doing an experiment with water here. Sorry, that's probably a bad pun, but basically at about 4:30, I poured some water into a cup. You know, it was completely liquid. Now, take a look at it. It's solid. So it's very, very cold out here. This happened in just under 30 minutes. I spoke with some of the residents who are trying to dig out, as well as the city, to see what they're doing to keep these streets clear.
The weather, it's like we used to have it years ago, back in the 70s when I was a kid growing up. And this is one of them winters where we're right back to where we were.
Judy Moddard is helping her neighbor Noah shovel his folks' driveway. She says she's breaking a sweat beneath the layers, but the frigid temperatures here in Coldwater make for a miserable day on the extremities.
It's freezing. Your face gets cold, and your hands cold, everything gets cold. Can't stay out very long. I just told Noah, go in and warm up, and we'll do it again.
Thanks to the approaching 30 below wind chill, the city she's called home for 13 years is living up to its name.
They ask you where you're from, you say Coldwater, they'll say, is it really cold there? Well, today it's cold. Just like it is everywhere.
Yeah, we're cold, all right.
Dave Sattler is the city's director of municipal services. He says his 16-man crew started working at 4 Monday morning.
Yeah, we drafted some people from the water department and the electric department and had those guys out helping us also. So we get as many bodies in trucks as we can.
And they're doing 12-hour shifts. The amount of snow that's fallen has the department depending heavily on their front loaders, like this one.
Because there's a lot of snow to move. You can't just move it with a pickup anymore.
How is it for you guys, for your crew, working in these temperatures?
Well, we got heaters in all the trucks.
Okay. Fighting this wind chill.
Yeah, it's cold, but actually the snow plows better when it's cold than when it's more warm.
How's that?
Well, it's all the moisture's out of the snow.
Now, yes, it's 12 below here, and I want to actually show you my experiment again. This water here, or was water. It was water at 4:30, and now in just a half hour, actually in less than a half hour, it's completely frozen solid. So cold water, basically the air in cold water, it's a walkout freezer, if you will. Now, as I mentioned, Sattler told me that a snow emergency has been declared for Coldwater. He's saying that they have also requested that residents not park their vehicles on the street so that their plows can continue to clear the streets and get things back to normal as soon as possible. For now, reporting live from Coldwater, Darren Cunningham, Fox 17 News.
All right, Darren, thanks for that. Rick Mecklenburg just talked about the temperature differences across the area.
Yeah, now we want to bring in Kevin Craig to talk more about the dangers. You guys have been talking about this Arctic air for some time. We've been bracing ourselves, but wow. It's so cold out there. It's hard to even describe.
You'd think that when the sun comes out a little bit like that, that it would warm up a little bit. But
well, with the Arctic air mass overplacing, you can't undersell this enough. It really is some dangerous stuff, especially where Darren is. Those temperatures with the skies that cleared are going to tank tonight,
big time.
And then those wind chills are going to ramp up as well because the core, the strongest winds, and the coldest air is going to be over us as we go through the overnight hours. Good evening, everybody. Let's take a look at the wind chill warnings that are out. We still have wind chill warnings out for all of Michigan and across 19 states. They stay into effect until 7 p.m. for us tomorrow because we're going to have wind chills at about 20 to 30 degrees below zero in most cases across West Michigan, and in the places where Darren Cunningham was, it may even be lower than that. It looks like more along the area of about 30 to 40, maybe even 40 to 50 degrees below zero. Want to look at our Future Track HD computer forecast model here. This will show us forecasted high temperatures in the areas of white, the bigger white numbers in white, and then just above that, forecast wind chills. We're going to pick this up at 9 p.m. So, for example, this is showing that we'll be in the single digits across most of the area, and by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, for example, it's saying we'll have a temperature in Grand Rapids of about 2 degrees above zero with wind chills 22 degrees below zero. But hang on, I want to bring your attention to something else. Down here, along and south of the I-94 corridor, some of those wind chills are getting to about 40 to almost 50 degrees below zero with the colder temperatures as they tank. So you get the idea. This is still going to go on through the overnight hours and through Tuesday as well. Now, this looks looks like a whole mess and host of numbers, but I want to break this down for you. This is our National Weather Service wind chill chart, and what it shows is temperatures across the top. They go down as you go this way, and here's wind chills across the left-hand side, or wind speeds across the left-hand side. The farther down you go, the stronger the wind. So it only stands to reason, with the lower the temperature goes, the higher the wind speed goes, the colder it's going to feel outside. The wind chill factor, if you will, or what it feels like. Not a big deal so much in the areas of light blue, but in this areas of medium blue, you can see it, where you get temperatures about 10, 15, 20 degrees below zero and higher wind speeds. We're going to end up, or at least the possibility of obtaining frostbite in about 30 minutes. The ears, the nose, the cheeks, the fingers, the toes are the first to get it. When you get into these areas of darker blue, you can get frostbite in a little in 10 minutes, and then it really gets into the extreme category here in purple. We won't hit that, thankfully for that. We're going to do a couple of experiments throughout the newscast. We get a little later in the 5 o'clock news and the 6 o'clock news. It's not too technical, it's not rocket science, but it'll share some interesting light and shed some interesting light on just how cold it is outside. So we'll see you in just a bit with all of that. Janice?
Thanks, Kevin. Our team coverage continues tonight in an area where police are saying don't go out on the roads or else. We sent Fox 17's Dana Chiklis to St. Joseph County earlier today to ride along with authorities who say it's just not safe to be outside.
Dana made her way back north to Kalamazoo to show us what she found tonight. Dana?
That's right, guys. Speaking of frostbite, welcome to our office today. The winds are the strongest they've ever been. And just to give you a visual, check out my thermometer. It says -4 degrees. That is a far cry from the truth. The sign behind us was just reading -10. And as you heard our meteorologist say, it is much colder than that. As far as driving goes, on the road we're on, this is the most traffic we've seen today. When we've traveled between Kalamazoo and Three Rivers, there were near whiteout conditions, especially on Route 131 and those rural highways by those open pastures where the winds are just billowing today. As you mentioned, we did ride along with Michigan State Police, and they were out on the roads monitoring any drivers who decided to try and brave the elements.
Make it through here without getting stuck.
St. Joseph County issued a snow emergency, closing roads for all non-emergency driving.
This is probably the worst snowfall I've seen since I've been working in St. Joseph County.
Michigan State Police say most drivers are listening to the warning and staying home.
Knock on wood, there hasn't been any accidents or any calls of service. For me anyways.
But if only we could have been so lucky. On our way to our ride along with State Trooper John Hoffmeister, the slick, icy roads took the best of our brakes. And no less than 3 MDOT crews showed up to pull us out of that ice pit.
Stop and see where this vehicle goes.
Meanwhile, law enforcement are closely watching the roads.
Well, I was watching you driving there while I was following you on M60 and you kept going across the fog line there. Is there any trouble with your vehicles or?
No, just slick.
This driver said he was on his way to work.
Hey, you had to come in? Okay, all right.
Of course, if I can always call them with that, you tell them it's too bad.
SOS record clear.
But state troopers say they're not ticketing drivers just for being out right now.
We look for, I guess, aggressive type driving, people traveling too fast for road conditions.
Yeah, that's right. And that driver you just saw got lucky today. That trooper did leave him warning. Now, we caught up with MDOT as well today, who says in both St. Joseph and Kalamazoo counties, there's about 20 snowplows working round the clock nonstop. That's about 40 drivers. And they are putting their safety on the line to keep the roads plowed for you. And that says about 1 truck, 2 drivers. They're traveling and covering and plowing about 160 miles of lanes during today. So be safe, and again, stay off the roads if you don't need to be out. Reporting live in Kalamazoo County, Dana Chiklis, Fox 17 News.
All right, Dana, thanks. Remember, we have the most news on 7 days a week in West Michigan. We'd like to make you part of our coverage. Send your videos and photos to us on Facebook or on Twitter using our hashtag Fox17Snow.
Well, our coverage on this Arctic cold blast continues until 7 o'clock tonight.
We're just getting started on this Monday night. Fox 17's Jennifer Dowling is live with a preview of what she's putting together for us.
That's right, a man in Grand Rapids succumbed to frostbite earlier this morning. I'm Jennifer Dowling reporting live. We'll tell you what Mel Trotter Ministries here downtown is doing to make sure that no one dies in this bitter temperature weather coming up.
In some parts of Ottawa County, it felt like 30 below today. And while most folks tried to stay out of the frigid temps, we caught up with some local farmers who had no choice but to brave them. Their story coming up.
Temperatures several degrees below zero, and fierce winds caused many businesses to shut down. I'm live in South Haven, where we'll show you why one staple in this community decided to open their doors today.